What is up, guys? How we doing? So we got Unadilla this weekend. I'm going to give you a little preview of that. And with the MX of Nations right around the corner at Ironman and seeing them get rid of the Godzilla jump just really got me thinking about the numbers. And it's going to blow you away how much money these guys profit off of this event. Jett didn't lose last week, but he had the win taken from him and he's pissed. Is he going to come out and just drop the hammer on these guys? And can Deegan clinch his second championship? There's a lot on the line in Unadilla. So I just had a buddy reach out and say, dude, my knee, I tweaked it. I remembered you gave me some Nano Extreme. Put it on, and of course I get a text. Holy crap, it works in 2 minutes. Sometimes it works really fast. For me, it took a couple days to build into my system. It depends on your injury how fast it works. But head over to Nano Extreme, use code Cooksy and get free shipping, and then you decide. Do you want to know more about training? Head over to Complete Racing Solutions. Coach Rob's got youth-specific programs. He's got express workouts for busy professionals. They focus on mindset, everything involved with making you a better person. So head over to Complete Racing Solutions and check that out. Ride Strapped, go get some goggles, glasses, a shirt. They've got the Red Pill shirts. He's got the Industry Outsider and some cool stuff on the website. So head over to Ride Strapped and check that out.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
So the motocross to nations. This is worse than the Olympics in the way they exploit patriotism. Now, it is awesome to go represent your country and battle on a world stage, but this thing has turned into one giant money grab for the promoters. They know how much we love, and it's nice. It's so fun on a weekend when you get to be a part of the team. They're racing for your country. You are emotionally vested. And I'm not saying this event should go away. It absolutely is a great event that should continue to go. But it's disgusting how the promoters have completely robbed everyone blind and almost made it disrespectful. If you question why you're there, if you even say like, well, it costs a lot of money, you are deemed unpatriotic. And in a sport where these guys live and make money solely off of their names, their reputations, and their brands, because they don't make money winning races, they make money signing sponsors. And for these sponsors, one of the worst things you could ever be labeled is unpatriotic. So for the donations, they do pay for the donations, not really. So they pay each team $2,200 or so travel fee. You're talking about 3 bikes, 3 riders, mechanics, families. $2,200, that doesn't cover one person, let alone an entire team. Then I heard someone else say, well, yeah, but they do have a purse for the race. Yeah, it's really low. I think the overall, if you count the $2,200 they pay the teams and the entire purse, we're talking $100,000 back to all the teams split up. And this event, it is paid for before they even get there. Hosting cities, they bid on this, kind of like how the Olympics, they have a bid and they submit to pay for the right to hold it in your city. It's very profitable for these cities in tourism to promote them. It's the same thing MXGP does. I believe they charge about $500,000 to the hosting city. Crawfordsville, Indiana, which is why they had the mayor of Indiana at the Nations last year to see what they're paying for. And cities do this all the time. Salt Lake pays for the Supercross. They pay Feld for the right to be the season finale because they're the state of sport. And I don't see anything wrong with this. I think promoters and series should absolutely leverage these areas. There's a huge value to having that many people come into your town, spending their money. There's a huge influx on local economies where they have their events. So yeah, they should get paid for that. And I appreciate that they do that. But looking at the ticket sales prices just made my blood boil. That VIP area where they took out the Godzilla jump at Ironman, $1,800 per person if you want to sit in that VIP section. So yeah, they have no problem getting rid of anything on any track if they can get $1,800 for that real estate to sell tickets and VIP packages. Now, I talk a lot about revenue split, and that's something in sports that's huge. Most major professional sports split between 30 and 50% of the revenue with the participants or athletes. The revenue split for the motocross to nations, based on the numbers that I could find, is not even 1%, 0.5%. And that's the purse and then the $2,200 they kicked these teams for going there. And people might say, oh, well, it's like the Olympics. You owe it to your country. Yeah, maybe, if it were every 4 years. We're asking our top athletes to do this every single year out of their own dime, and they're set paying. Zach Osborne was on one of the Pulp shows talking about how when he went, every time it cost him $25,000. Sure, they got some money back, and they got $2,200, but he's still out of pocket $25,000 each time he represented the country. And they've done such a good job brainwashing teams and riders into just being happy and saying, it's not about the money, it's about American pride. I would pay any amount to go there. And they probably would. But that doesn't mean this promoter who is collecting between $14 and $20 million, and that's not even counting the streaming rights, when they're collecting between $14 million and $20 million to hold this event, I think they can compensate the riders a little bit better. They can make sure these teams shouldn't be out of pocket every single year. They should at least be able to go to this event and have it covered, paid for. And at the bare minimum, provide a safe track for these guys. They're out there risking their careers because they've been convinced if they don't, they're not a patriot and their brand will be ruined because they're unpatriotic, which is one of the worst things you can be labeled as a professional sports star. The least they could do is, at Ironman, I noticed during the National, they had those rolled hay bales. That's like a parked car on the side of the track. Somebody could really get hurt. But they have air fences. Air fences are some of the easiest things to put up. You just tie it down. You wrap these around the trees in every area where they think a bike could go into the spectators. I think they're like $2,500 for each of these big airbag pieces. But somewhere within that $20 million, you're trying to tell me one of the parties involved, and now this is MX Sports, this is Youthstream, they combine on this event to really milk everybody. And that same show where Zach Osborne was talking about how much he spent to go to the donations, Steve Mattress was talking about how much money that Youthstream makes on this event. Well, they've partnered with MX Sports. You think MX Sports is going to lift anything to do something for an event where they don't make considerable amount of money? From the numbers I have, MX Sports profits, I'm not talking about expenses, I'm talking about after sponsors and all the fees they charge, they profit approximately $1 million at each event. So that's $1 million 11 times. So they're making $11 million on the regular season. I can only imagine, now you add this in there, that's probably another, if there's 20 million coming into this event, there's no way MX Sports is going to lift a finger if they don't get at least what they were profiting for the National. So you know they're making well over $1 million. And I am so tired of these guys acting like any rider who says, I don't want to go, or I need compensation because I'm risking my career, my future, my reputation to go do this event. I'm tired of labeling these guys bad guys. You know what's more American than anything? Standing up for the rights of other people and making things better. That is the most patriotic thing you could ever do. These teams and riders are chumps. They have been duped. They are allowing themselves to be completely exploited, and they're asking and thanking the promoters for being exploited. Oh, thank you so much for this great event. And yeah, it is a great event, and it's something that could be amazing. That's why it's so disgusting that they get 0.5%. The people we pay to go watch race, the people who put all the effort in, the training, everything, they're not getting any of the money. Now, I'm not saying the promoter shouldn't make a truckload. They absolutely should. They do a really good job. They've done a great job selling the event, promoting the event. But they're so damn greedy, these teams need to stand up and stop being chumps. Demand what you're worth. You are the product. Stop being little bitches and stand up for yourself. Have a backbone. All you team managers who are shelling out tons of money to go to this event, you guys need to get together. Because right now, you're being made a fool, wasting your money to go contribute to this event where they're making so much money. And no, it's not unpatriotic. It's the most patriotic thing you can do to fight for what's right. If you guys are shipping anything, use Precision Transport. That's pretransport.com. You handle your company's logistics. I'm telling you, hit up Precision Transport. They will make you look like a rock star and probably get you a promotion. So head over to pretransport.com. Alias MX gear. This is some of the highest quality, best looking motocross gear out there. If you don't want to look like every single other person at the track, get yourself some Alias gear. The 25.5, there's a limited amount, so you're going to have to hurry. Head over to Alias MX and get your gear. So round 26 of the regular season is underway in Unadilla this weekend, and the riders are feeling it. Chase is sitting out, Tomac's sick, but we got Roxon coming back, so we have some big things this weekend. But the biggest thing is watching Hayden Deegan. Hayden Deegan wants to clinch this title before he goes to Budds Creek. But he is up against it. I'm telling you, Joe Shimoda is riding really good. He's confident, and he is fast at Unadilla. And it's really hard right now for Hayden Deegan to find the motivation. He's conquered the 250 class. He's got a Supercross title. This will be his second outdoor title. He'll be going for his third SMX title. He's done with the 250 class. And I truly think once he gets on the 450 after SMX and Destinations, I really think he's going to ride it and he's going to feel so good and he's going to welcome that new challenge. If you look back at the way they've handled things, they've had a plan of when they're going to go pro. They've always jumped ahead of schedule. And the only thing left to do to jump ahead of schedule would be to enter him in 450 Supercross next year. And that's what I expect. I don't know if I want it. I don't even know if it's the right thing. But I'm just telling you, I think that's what will end up happening. Once Deegan starts testing that 450 and he sees that he's probably faster than the other guys that are on his own team, he's going to want to go 450 next year. He likes a challenge, he needs a challenge, and he looks bored. A guy I completely forgot about last week, and I'm not going to forget about him this week, Tom Vial. He's riding the last two nationals on his KTM contract. He's got SMX, but these are the last outdoor nationals that Tom has with KTM before he goes back to Europe for the Honda team. And I think he really wants to end on a high note, so look for him to go for it, possibly get a moto win, and be right in the mix. It's a European-style track where he's been pretty good at Unadilla. Look for Tom Vial to be in the mix and trying to battle with Joe and Hayden Deegan. Cole Davies is back, the rookie phenom who looked he blew our minds in Supercross. I didn't know, I thought he'd be a 5 to 10 guy in that Supercross class, and he went out there, won races, battled for the championship, and looked damn good. But he had that horrendous crash in practice at Salt Lake where he got jumped on by Jordan Smith, and it's not Jordan Smith's fault. Cole stopped on the track. That was on Cole, but it was an unfortunate incident that his arm was broke. He was all sorts of messed up. I wasn't sure if we were going to see him this season, but he is coming back. I don't know what to expect out of Cole Davies. He's not exactly an outdoor specialist. I don't know how prepared he is. I would be happy if Cole Davies just goes out there, rides solid, and finishes. If he can make it into the top 10, I think that's plenty good for Cole Davies right now in this recovery. One of the hardest things in this sport to do is jump into a series when the guys are already at race pace. They're used to the intensity week in and week out, and you've been recovering from a serious injury. So I don't look for him to come out and get on the podium. I look for him to be inside the top 10, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's still going to be a championship contender in Supercross next year, and depending how he can recover in these next 2 weeks, he might be someone to think about in the SMX championship. Jett Lawrence is pissed. He's lost 2 nationals in his career. This was the third last week that he lost, but he didn't actually lose it on track. He lost it with a decision by the AMA, and it's been highly scrutinized. I told you guys what I think. I think he should have been penalized, but just 2 positions. I don't think a lap was fair for what he did, and I have to laugh when the AMA says it's by the book. It's not by the book. They make stuff up all the time. It's complete BS. I've literally had Davey Coombs from MX Sports tell me the rule book is a guideline book. Remember when they changed the rules for Zach Osborne when he didn't qualify at Loretta Lynn's? He called it a guideline book. It's not set in stone. They don't have to do everything exactly. Every single thing in that book is at the discretion of the race official. But I truly think they didn't want that both championships to be locked up heading into Budds Creek. Well, because MX Sports runs that one and they need ticket sales there. But I don't see anyone beating Jett. Jett's going to go 1-1, probably pretty easily, and just let people know that was a fluke. He didn't deserve to get, penalized, and he should only have 2 losses in his motocross career. Now he has 3. And the only guy that I can see that will really be able to beat him is Hunter Lawrence, and I just don't see it happening. Hunter's good. He got that elusive overall win, but I think it'll be Jett first, Hunter second. What will be up to decide is that 3rd position. And I think RJ Hampshire is going to get it. He is fired up. That felt good to stand on the podium on a 450. He's wanted this for so long to move up to the 450 class. He never had the opportunity. Now he has it. I look for RJ to probably get 3rd unless we see a different Tomac. He was under the weather last week, and I don't know if I'll ever take RJ straight up over a healthy Eli, but if Eli's under the weather, I got RJ. And the guy that I'm watching really close is Jorge Prado. It has been a disaster with him at Kawasaki. He doesn't like the bike. He doesn't like the people. They don't like him. It has been a cluster. But this track has typically suited the European riding style. And I look for Prado. If he does not get on the podium here, I'm going to predict he doesn't ride a Kawasaki next year. If he gets on the podium, I think they're going to see, okay, wait, we can do something with him. There is something there. And I think it might change the atmosphere. So I'm watching him really close, watching his body language, hearing what he says in interviews. Is he going to stick around with Kawasaki? I don't know. And the women are back this week, and unfortunately they're going to be on Friday. We did get to see them a little bit last week, but then their moto got cut short because of a red flag, and they had a 5-minute moto. Anyway, I'm telling you, please find a way to get the women on TV. Even if it's a day early, if I can find it on the Peacock app, I will. I don't care. Find some time to televise the women and the SMX Next kids, because I want to see who's coming up, and I also want to see the women. We need to build them as stars, and that's how we get these guys a break. We mix in different classes and give like other classes a break. The schedule's too long. This is a way to lighten the load on all these specific guys. Thank you, members. I appreciate everything. One of you is going to win a Coach Rob $250 gift certificate at the end of August. And in December, one of you guys is going to win the new Power Sports XQi3 electric motorcycle. Damn, these are fun. I'll tell you what. If you haven't ridden an electric motorcycle, you should get one and buzz around the neighborhood, do wheelies, jump curbs. It'll be some of the most fun you've had on a bike since you were a little kid. Thanks, guys. Here's your member of the day.
Let's start this off by saying, we got them. The illegal sale of American motorcycle racing. I present a case that reveals how the American Motorcyclist Association's 2008 sale of its racing properties constituted an illegal transfer of public trust into private hands. My name's B Mazy, and I'm here to stir shit up. So I made a song for you guys. You know, it's crazy that the riders still gotta pay to race, even though these guys are just filling their pockets because they're money hungry, greedy, stupid mother, ex-circus owners, but still got the same mindset for the Supercross. Screw Feld, screw the AMA, and screw Rob Dingman.